As the NFL draft slowly approaches, Diego Pavia's name is being brought back into the media. Will he be drafted? Will he go in the 5th, 6th, 7th round? Or is Diego Pavia going to be undrafted and eventually end up in the UFL or the CFL? Let's get right into it. Todd McShay crushes Diego Pavia, saying he's not touching him with a 10-foot pole. Like the video, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate that. Diego Pavia, NFL quarterback, Todd McShay, revealed he wouldn't draft him, but has a lot of respect for him as a football player. See the full episode. Todd McShay, what do you have to say?
I'm not drafting in the NFL. I'll be shocked if he's an NFL starter. I don't even know how much value you have as a backup, if I'm being completely honest. But he's just a damn good football player, and it's hard to say that because I have so much respect for what he did in the SEC and the way he overcame what he had to overcome. And I don't know if it's in, the UFL or what it is, but I'd hate the fact that that might be the end of his career because he's just a really good football player.
UFL, CFL. Todd McShay says he's not a starter, and he doesn't even think Diego Pavia is a backup. Story ends losing to Iowa as a member of Vanderbilt. Todd McShay said the uncomfortable thing out loud about Diego Pavia. NFL draft projections are difficult and certainly more science than art. However, throughout the draft season, many analysts must be the bearer of bad news. Sometimes it's legitimate, and sometimes it's overanalyzing small details. In this case of Diego Pavia, Todd McShay has delivered a take publicly that many already believed to be true. Pavia does not have an NFL quarterback skill set. Not an NFL starting quarterback, an NFL quarterback, starter, backup, third string. Look at the Giants roster last year. You got Russell Wilson, Jackson Dart, Jameis Winston. Is Diego Pavia even coming in as a third string on that quarterback room? No. Look at the Eagles. You got Jalen Hurts, Tanner McGee. Is he in that quarterback room? No. Look at the Bengals. You got Joe Burrow, Joe Flacco. Is he in that quarterback room? No. Look at the Chiefs. You got Patrick Mahomes, Gardner Minshew. Is he in that quarterback room? Teams don't usually carry a third quarterback. The Giants were an outlier. Where would Diego Pavia fit in the NFL? Look at the Niners. Purdy, Mac Jones. The important thing to remember is winning games or being exciting does not necessarily relate to an NFL quarterback skill set, nor is it an indicator of future NFL success. The most direct comp that explains this concept is that Diego Pavia is the anti-Tim Tebow. We don't even need to bring Tim Tebow in this. Look at Kellen Moore and all the success Kellen Moore had at Boise State. He didn't do much in the NFL. The quarterback from Hawaii, I believe his name was Colt Brennan from back in the day. What did Colt Brennan do in the NFL? Nothing. So putting up stats and being successful in college ranks doesn't translate to the National Football League. Pavia, like Tebow, it's actually disrespectful putting Tim Tebow in the same category as Diego Pavia. Tim Tebow laid it all out on the field every single Saturday, bled for his team, and won national championships. And he was a good enough athlete to play minor league baseball. No small feat. Minor league baseball, no small feat at all. Tebow was a freak. Pavia, like Tim Tebow, plays with a ton of grit and determination. He has moxie in spades. He is a gamer and can be incredible working off platform. However, none of those descriptors feeds directly into what NFL general managers are looking for. Also, like Tebow, pocket presence and discipline, elite arm talent, command of the offense, and a willingness to win with structure and an instinctive ability to put the ball where it needs to be are not aspects that describe Pavia. Todd McShay puts into context. Todd McShay is a respected analyst that doesn't pick favorites unless the game tape dictates this over that. While McShay's take is not divine football mandate, it does carry some weight. Recently, McShay articulated a growing concern with Pavia. I don't know if Pavia can play quarterback in the NFL. You watch him during the team sessions and 7-on-7s, and there's some fun things to watch. He just has an unbelievable instincts, but when you watch him in one-on-ones, having to drive the ball, make NFL throws is not the same as the other guys. That is the issue in a nutshell. Pavia is small, not particularly fast on the move, does some creative things, but lacks the skill set NFL teams are looking for. Quote, it's not like he did it in the WAC or FCS, he did it in the SEC. So it's hard to say definitively that this guy can't play in the NFL. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you watch him out there, you start to wonder, are the limitations going to be too much in the NFL? Once the pre-draft process gets into the weeds, so to speak, around March and April, another growing concept will take shape. Success in college football wins and losses metrics does not necessarily equal high draft picks. The article goes on to say, well, Shedeur Sanders in 2024 put up a stat line of 74% completion percentage, almost 4,200 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Though his off-the-field antics, though the circus around him caused him to fall down to the 5th round pick. Diego Pavia, shorter than Shedeur Sanders, less of a field goal, less of a completion percentage than Sanders, threw for less yards than Sanders, threw for less touchdowns for Sanders, only had 2 fewer interceptions, and is more of a headache than Shedeur Sanders was. How can you really expect Diego Pavia to go in the draft? If Shedeur Sanders fell all the way to 5th, how can you expect Pavia to go anything before that? Team might bring him in. Will a team pick him up through undrafted? I think a team's going to pick him up. Going to be on scout team for a little bit, trying to prove his way. But in the process of proving your way, I think Pavia falls off to the wayside. Pavia started off the pre-draft process poorly when head coach Clark Lay attempted to schedule an additional game to improve Vanderbilt's playoff chances. That was supported by Pavia. Later, Pavia would reach out via Twitter asking for legislative help from the President of the United States. Both moves were not received well. The Heisman Trophy presentation offered 2 issues of concern, the first of which was simply confirmation of a commonly held idea. Pavia is strikingly small. 5'9"? Diego Pavia 5'9"? Around 200 pounds? The second of which might be more concerning. When Pavia did not win the Heisman, he went scorched earth mode, criticizing Heisman voters and casting a shadow over the entire proceedings. Not only did he say F all the voters, he said, fuck Indiana. He, prior to the season, went on a podcast talking trash about Iowa. You only need 10 points to beat Iowa. Scores more than 10 points against Iowa in a bowl game and ends up losing that game, getting outscored. So at every turn, Diego Pavia talks himself into a corner that he just can't seem to get himself out of. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I appreciate all the support. Like the video and subscribe. See you later.